Gotta get back into the swing of things after Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. So
Yeah, it really takes away from the horse racing. All that family jazz.
yeah, I've been playing the Gulfstream turf and Santa Anita pretty consistently, but I've kind of been betting like an idiot just because I haven't been as focused.
Yeah, I'm a little bit the same. I
I
haven't
feel,
got that much time to like really dive into stuff recently.
yeah, I just feel like my handicapping's been really good. I just haven't. I just have bet like I just haven't made the most of some good opinions.
Yeah, I feel that way with the turf park. Like, I feel like I kind of figured out what I was looking for. That when I went there the other month, or yeah, I guess it's been a month now. Like I was so close. If I just like boxed everything in the trifecta instead of like dinking and ducking like specific plays, I would have made so much money. I like broke even, but I was right there on a couple big trifecta payouts.
Yeah. I've just yeah. I don't I don't know where to start with me, so I don't want to. I don't know if California's gonna run Santa Anita this weekend.
Oh yeah, for the
The
fires.
fires and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy
I'd be
because
surprised if they run tomorrow.
Aqueduct and Turf Park, and I'm sure somewhere else have been canceled in the last few days. So there's like not that much horse racing.
Yeah, no, it's even like Lexington, like got we got like the worst
Oh
snowstorm
yeah,
here
you guys
and
got a
like ever.
ton.
Yeah, and there's gonna be some more tomorrow. So like that kind of like extended the break where like everything's just like
Mm-hmm.
closed here and like no one's really doing
Are
anything.
you like trapped inside?
So it's like no, not now, but like for a couple days there. Uh but like yeah, there's but even like a lot of like stuff still not like plowed and
Yeah,
stuff.
those southern states,
It's
they
just
don't know how to clean the
yeah, they're
streets.
just not built
Yeah,
for it. They just wait it
yeah,
out. Like it's
basically.
so funny. They're just like I'm like looking at like guys like the forecast is like in the 20s and 30s for the next like week at least. Like it's not melting anytime
Yeah,
soon.
it's not going
Like
anywhere.
you gotta like do so. Yeah, it's so funny. It's like coffee shops were like closed like yesterday. It was like 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. It snowed like 3 days
Yeah.
ago. Like I'm like, what is going on? It's 8 a.m. on a Tuesday and you're closed. That's crazy.
All right. What did you end up doing here for this Gulfstream card? Are you gonna run me through the turf races?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'll do. Um, that's pretty much where all my opinions are and all the races I handicap pretty good with like I already had notes on trip notes and stuff, so
Beautiful. Are you doing
I'll do
the
those.
pick three or just all? I guess the pick three, the turf pick three.
Yeah, there's 4 races. Um, yeah, the first race isn't in the turf pick three, but I'll talk about that one too. So I'll do 1, 5, 9, 11. Those are the turf races.
Okay. Well, if you're ready, open us up there with 1 and 5, and then I'll jump in later. I'm basically just gonna do the late pick three. Those are kind of the races I thought were interesting. So, and I didn't get a chance to look at the race 5 too in depth yet. So I'll want to hear your opinion on that.
That sounds good. Yeah, so race number 1, this first one, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claimer, 25,000. It's a good betting race, 12 horse field. No real like standouts, so there's a lot of horses I could see winning, but I have 3 horses written down that I like. Or I don't know. The first one's the 4 West Side Tide, 4-1, Safi's Ayaz. I don't like that one as much, but I just have to mention it. I mean, class dropper. Um, I usually don't like those huge class droppers, like one start and then big drop to a claiming race. But this one was only 65,000 purchase, so the drop isn't like crazy. Um, they didn't pay a ton for it, so I mean, this one had a bad trip in its debut, but that's kind of the maybe a backup. But the two horses I like at prices, the 6 Agape Mo. I don't know how to say that, but it's had a bunch of chances at the main race, but it has a lot of synthetic races in there that kind of muddy up its form. Last time at Indiana on the turf, we're in a huge light pace figure, closing into a slow pace. Kind of similar. Um, in its other start on the turf at Indiana. So I think its last two starts versus similar on the turf has run third and second and hasn't had great trips, adds blinkers. So maybe a little bit forwardly placed this time. And um, it's like second off a little bit of a break. So I think that one at 10-1 has a lot of upside. And then the 12 Oscar worthy, terrible post, 12 post. But this one's shortening in distance, and it's weird. The Gulfstream turf's been playing pretty fair. It's like a normal turf course, which I like, where you want to save ground and kind of wheel out entering the turn. The, the the one distance that the outside posts seem to be fine is this 7.5. I think it's just because it's not as long as the mile and 16th, obviously. So like that first turn doesn't really matter as much, where you can be hung a little bit wide into it. And I think this one had a bad trip last time. It was wide, but it was going mile and 16th. So I really like it shortened back up to 7.5. Another one was off a little bit of a break last time, second off the layoff, Brian Lynch. So dropping in class, I think that one's got a big shot too. So the 6 and the 12 are the two prices I like in race number 1. Then we'll jump to race number 5, turf race for Philly, state bred stakes race. Um, Another really competitive race. This one starts off the turf pick 3. The 8 is the heavy favorite in here. 8-5, Great Venezuela. Morning lines, really quick sprinters, run numbers that are kind of better than this field, but all of her wins have been sprinting. Her one try at 7.5 furlongs, um, she settled for third. So I think this is a good favorite to play against. Outside post, there's some other speed on the inside, and I'm just gonna probably make that filly beat me at a really short price, and when she hasn't proven that she can stretch out to a route and win. So definitely a horse like that I like to play against. The horse I like a lot is the 3 Princess Bettina, another Brian Lynch horse. Second off the claim, this one shipped in from Gulfstream or from Santa Anita off a break last time versus a tough open company allowance field, and had a terrible trip. Was 4 wide around the turns, had absolutely no chance. And that race, it looks a lot worse on paper than it was. So now I think gets some class relief, gets a nice inside post this time. Johnny Vito board, has back numbers on the turf that can win this race for sure. 2 wins at the distance, and I'm hoping that that price is even a little bit lower. I think if the 8 gets pounded and some other ones take money, I think um, it could be that in that 6-7-1 range. So that's the horse I like in that race. The 1, 2, and 5 I also thought are solid horses and contenders, but as far as like the turf pick 3 goes, I'll probably single the 3 on a ticket, uh, and then. But yeah, that's probably going to be my key to the turf pick 3 is that horse, and maybe in maybe I'll use some of those backups at decent prices, um, with some of my strongest opinions in the other 2 legs. But yeah, that's what I got for race 1 and 5.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I was going to ask like about Mary Quite Contrary. I think I've bet that horse. Like you can look on the past performance and you see the last win was the 30th of December 2023. I'm pretty sure I've bet that horse in like half of her races since then, and she just hasn't been able to pull it off. I was wondering if you gave her better shots in this one than some of her recent performances. I don't know why they started running her on the alt weather for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, this is the turf, so she's trying turf for the first time. I mean, she's just there's just a big class drop from what
Yeah.
she's. I mean, she was in grade 1 races on the dirt. Um, yeah, it's not one I particularly like. I mean, it depends, because I mean, I don't know how big of a price she's going to be. I just on a backup ticket. Like, she wouldn't shock me if she just popped a huge race. Her breeding doesn't really scream turf, so another reason to be kind of against. But this trainer has a positive ROI, first on the grass. It's a good pose. Saya is riding, so I don't know. And it's taken money in her last 2, even though in against tougher competition. Like, yeah, so I don't know. The 1 is kind of interesting horse too for Safi. Um, just looks to get a good rail pocket trip, and I just I'm just mostly against the 8 in here, and honestly, I don't even know if I'll use those tickets, those horses on um any tickets. I might just single the 3, and just kind of play multiple tickets with the 3 singled, and that'll be my key horse on the day.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Safi's kind of like the Florida Chad Brown. Like this time of year, it's like every race has like 3 Safi horses in it. It's kind of hard to know what he's gonna do with them.
Very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the 9. Is that the next turf race, right?
Yeah. You wanna
Yeah.
jump in if that's one of
Yeah,
your
I'll take
races?
this one first. See what I can come up here with. This one had a lot of early speed in it. Like you said, the turf at Gulfstream's been a little bit bit more fair than usual, I would say. But I've been watching a lot of just the first pack horses win. If they're not the speed, they're just like ride off the speed. So I get Dream On here, the favorite, probably the most likely to win, the one to beat. Front led the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and only lost by 2.25 lengths. Set some pretty fast fractions in that as well, and was running against a lot of just strong horses. So I could see this horse going gate to wire here, and probably not having to push the pace as much as they did in their last race. The way I saw this race breaking down though was actually the oh yeah, I could see that horse on the front. There's a couple other horses. The 2 Gene and Jude are the 1 Tank that if they want to push those horses to the front, they might, and that's where I see Dream On like coming off the pace against them. But I also thought the 5 Soleil Volant was an interesting horse. First time gelding, pretty good speed figures. It looks to be improving. Is a mile racer at Gulfstream Park. Came in second last out against some decent horses as well. Mythical Man, I think, is a pretty good young horse at this class level. So I could see that horse push either being at the front pack are right behind Dream On, and I guess it's a question of if they push Dream On too fast, too early. Some of these other horses, if you're able to get Soleil Volant cleaning up late, had a really strong finish in that last race, coming just off the pace. So I like that. I like that horse going another 16th of the mile. I think that works out pretty nice. Um, there was couldn't find myself too many other horses in this race. The 7 had a similar profile as Soleil Volant. You got John Velasquez on him now, which I think is an interesting upgrade at Gulfstream Park anytime John gets on the horse. And also similar, just like a strong sweeping finish in the last race at Tampa uh, on the 13th of December. Similar class, at least on paper. I think the Tampa races are usually a little bit weaker compared to the Gulfstream Park races, so that was kind of why I had that horse just underneath and maybe like third place. But if it's some crazy fractions, some of these other horses pushing themselves, pushing Dream On early, I could see Fully Authorized getting involved. So mainly Dream On. I'll probably do like a key trifecta Dream On with a couple of those other horses underneath, and then maybe like box a small exacta with like Fully Authorized, Soleil Volant, and yeah, maybe something like that. What did you come up with here?
Yeah, yeah, two of the horses that you like. Yeah, I mean, the race definitely goes through Dream On just based on the class relief, but again, I do think it is a potentially vulnerable favorite. Um, just because even though he set some fat fractions, I mean, he's going an extra mile and 16th, an extra 16th of a mile this time. Um, settled for second or third, like he's given up the lead in the stretch. Even though, I mean, definitely still the one to beat, but hopefully, I'm kind of hoping the same thing. If they can put a little bit of pressure, yeah, hopefully the one gets sent from the rail, and there is a little bit of pace, but I did the 5 would be that was my third horse. Dream On was my second. I do like Soleil Volant. A lot of the same things you said. Looks to get better with that extra 16th of a mile. First time gelding Lasix, and yeah, last time was finishing best in that race. I mean, got a great rail trip, but Ruiz is sneaky, good, really good turf rider. Doesn't always have the best horses, but I've hit with him on some big prices at this Gulfstream meet on the turf. One was like 30 to 1, I think, and I've noticed just watching the replays that he usually has his horses in good positions if he has a decent post. So definitely the one I like best though. Um, annoying post is, but the number 9 Scarecrow 8 to 1. Delgado Zayas, first time Lasix, but this one I think is the best closer in the field and has run some really strong late pace figures and has run I think 2 races that are a lot better than they look on paper, which is great for betting. In his last 2, the first 2 back on the turf, his first time turf was from way back behind a really slow pace, and closed behind third. Is behind Tank, but beaten only about neck by Tank. But Tank was up close to that really slow pace, setting that slow pace. So that was a much better race than 9. And then last time made a really nice. Uh, it was like too wide first turn, like then on the back stretch just moved up wide and then made a nice wide move on the turn, kind of flattened out behind a slow pace, but had absolutely no chance. Um, but I definitely like the added distance for this one, and if he had an inside post, I would be um, really excited to bet this horse. The 9 post in this field just kind of scares me just because he could get the same exact trip as last time and kind of finish mid-pack. But hopefully if there is a bit of pace, it's not that big of a field, that maybe it stretches out a little bit and Zayas can save ground. But yeah, I think the way I'm going to play it is big 9, 9-6 exacta, and then maybe key the 9-6, something like that in this race because I like that. I like that 5 and 9, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just Dream On might just be too good for this field, but I think if you can just use those two prices, might be able to get a decent exacta.
Yeah, good call with Scarecrow. I was looking at that horse too. I'll probably throw him in the trifecta box somewhere. Yeah, he had a really wide trip like the whole way around last time, and it says bumped at the start. I don't really remember that, but he was definitely super wide like the entire trip. So I could see him improving. Pretty much all these horses now that they're 3-year-olds are getting Lasix for the first time. So good opportunity, like you said, if you want to go against Dream On, to bet on the horse that's going to show like some big improvement. And I think Scarecrow has the fewest races out of any of these, so tied for the fewest races with a couple of them almost. Yeah, so could see it. I could definitely see it. All right, I'll do the next race, the mile on the 16th, number 10, the Sunshine Classic, for 4-year-olds and upward. This one seems like a pretty good race, pretty fun dirt race. Typical Gulfstream race where you got a ton of horses that like to get to the front. So do you take the speed of the speed? Do you take the off pace second pack moving horses? I kind of went the second direction. I went with the Secret Chat, the 3-1 in this race. Just looks so strong in the last few races. Has some really good late pace figures that should extend out here nicely at a mile on the 16th. Has actually ran that distance before in the Lexington in April against Encino, the Wine Stewart, Dilger, some bigger horses. So I kind of think this one is like the class of the class, and you are probably going to get a bit of a pace with a couple of these horses trying to get to the front early. I did also like Shaq Diesel here, the 7. Switches to Joel Rosario, and this is the first time since July that this horse has ran. So I was a little skeptical with this horse coming back off such a long layoff. David Fox is 27%, 90 plus days away, so probably not a huge deal. The workouts will look good. Had a really strong closing run in that last Gulfstream handicap in July. Last couple of races were pretty nice looking on paper. Has ran off Lasix and hasn't done as well, so that's probably the main concern here. And I could see getting to a couple other horses similar to Shag Diesel. I'll mention the Big Martini out at the 12 slot, so you can easily go against them for the post position, but similar profile to Shaq Diesel, like a strong closer, second pack horse, has done better off of Lasix. Good workouts, has a lot of Gulfstream experience, 9 of 15 in the money, so I kind of went with the classier horses here a little bit. There's going to be like 4 or 5 horses that try to get out quick, and you're probably going to get a speed battle and have some of these other horses run them down late. I didn't get as deep as like Lightning Tones. That was an interesting horse, lower class level in the last few races, and I don't know how that's gonna transfer to this race as well. So yeah, I like on top Secret Chat, super strong closer, and then Shaq Diesel, Big Martini. I could see those guys getting second and third, closing in late. So that's how I saw this one go down. Did you have an opinion on any of these?
No, not really. It's just I looked at it, but I haven't even written down any horses because I just think it's that tough of a race. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's another reason why I'll probably just focus on that turf pick 3 on Saturday, and maybe the early pick 5, but I doubt that. I just some of these dirt and synthetic races are just really hard to narrow down for me.
Yeah, I really don't like the
But
bigger ticket stuff at Gulfstream, like the pick 5 or 6. Typically, I just feel like, especially the pick 6, it's so chalky a lot of the times that it's hard to justify putting in a big ticket. Um, I also don't like that their
yeah,
pick 3 is a $1 is a well, it's $1 for a pick 3. Like, I don't like that.
yeah, I actually do like that because usually I think the payouts are a little bit better when the minimums are higher, but it's a higher takeout. They did the pick six is all it's like a jackpot carryover, so I never played that. It's just like a ridiculous hold if you even if you hit it, unless you think you can scoop the whole thing.
Yeah, or the
Um,
mandatory payout days, I
it's not
guess.
worth
But
playing because yeah, yeah. Um, but they did change starting January 1st. They did change the pick five used to be 4 out of 5 consolation, and now it's not, which is good. Um, so it's 15% takeout, but it all gets paid out. So you get your full, um, you get a lot higher payouts now that they're not paying that consolation. So that is one good thing. Yeah, Saturday I don't think I can put to. I don't know. We'll see if I dive in a little bit deeper on this race and maybe come up with something. But I have some strong opinions in the turf races, so I'll probably just stick with that.
oh yeah, it's good to hear about the pick 5. I guess that makes it a little bit more enticing to hit at Gulfstream, especially compared to the pick 6. It's like a throwing your money away at Gulfstream, in my opinion. But I'll have to hit that pick 5 some at least. You want to close us out here on race 11 with the last turf mile on the 16th, $20,000 claimer, and then I'll go after you if that's all right.
Yeah, so this is the hardest part of the card for me. Is like I love the five, and then the fifth and the ninth race in the turf pick three. This race, um, I'm having a lot harder of a time. I don't have as strong of opinions. I mean, actually there's a lot of horses I like in here, but that's the problem, right? I think I have 9 horses written down that I think that could win. Um, the two the two horses that um, the two horses I like best, and I'm probably gonna lean on most tickets are the two Martin Drexler horses. Unfortunately, sometimes Gulfstream is just a trainer track, and both of these are dropping in class, shipping in from Woodbine. The fours, first off the claim, Alley-oop Johnny, and the two Media Sensation is cutting back, dropping in class, gets Saya. So I just think um, these he's a really strong trainer at Gulfstream, and sometimes just these shippers or first time horses can really pop it. Both those are dropping in class and fit in here. So I think those are the two I like best. The three Nantasket Beach is the favorite. I think I'm kind of against that one. It did run really well last time, pressed a hot pace, but it did cough it up, and its races just aren't nearly as good going a mile 16th as it is going a mile or shorter. So it does have 2 wins at a distance, but I think it's going to be over bet and isn't going to finish off his race as well. Um, I'll just mention 3 other horses that um, I think are kind of my second tier. The one Moto the one I don't know how to say that, but just ran last week on synthetic, but 2 back on the turf. Has been running some really strong late pace figures, including that synthetic race. But again, dropping class, gets the rail first off the claim um, from a 0% barn. So this trainer is only 7%, but still a trainer upgrade, and has some decent winners first off the claim. So I think that one getting back to the turf and then facing weaker for the first time's got a shot. Um, the 5 social long distance. I thought I had a trip note on this one. Let me look it again real quick. Yeah, I mean, it had a decent rail trip, but um, it was in a front runner flow race, slow pace was behind it, and finished off pretty well, galloped out strong. Um, and that was its first start at this level, so I think that one's got upside. Has some back numbers on the turf and is a bomb at 20 to 1. And the 10 also coming out of that race, Rock the Stars, was another one dropping to this level for the first time last time and was wide on the first turn, then kind of same thing as that other um, Zaya we talked about last time, but moved up wide on the backstretch and then chased 4 wide on the turn. So kind of a similar horse to that horse in race number 1 that I like. And again, this one has an outside post, which is annoying, so it might get the same exact trip and not have a chance. But the 9, I had a trip note on too. 5 or yeah, the 7 might have a chance. So yeah, so I'm gonna lean on the 2 and 4. But how I'll play the turf pick 3, I'll probably single the 3 on all my tickets, and then play a ticket with like just using maybe go 3, 5, 9, and then all those horses in the last race, or 6, 9, try and beat. Where if I beat that heavy favorite Cassie horse with the 2 prices and with the 3, I want to be alive to all those horses, and that would only be probably like a 6. Let me see if the combination's 7 and 9 times 2 times 3. Yeah, so that would only be like, and then I would press. Then I'd come back and press where I'd like play a stronger ticket with like 3, 5, 6, 9, and then just the 2 and the 4, and press that one. So that's kind of how I'll play on Saturday, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, this race was really tough. Who do you like?
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty tough. I get the case for Nantasket Beach. Looks like the best front running horse in this race, and there's really not a lot of speed in this race. I love Joe Bravo at Gulfstream. That's a great combo. So I get that horse. I'm gonna include it on my verticals in this race. Looking at the one that you were talking about, I kind of like that one as well. What is the deal at the last claiming from Daniel C. Hertak by Daniel C. Hertak? Is it a dad son thing?
It must be.
That's,
Uh, yeah, maybe that, or maybe there was. Oh, that's a good
that's
question.
weird. Because it was an optional
Yeah, I
claiming
didn't
race as
even.
well, so he
So
chose to
yeah,
put him up for 35, and he got claimed by himself or his father or something. I don't know. That just was a weird note. I just saw that.
yeah. Wow, I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I don't know
Which
what's up
is
with
not,
that.
not good. I must be a little too tired. Uh, but yeah, that's well. Regardless, even if it wasn't claimed, I don't necessarily
Yeah,
hate it.
no, it doesn't really affect my opinion. I thought it was just really
Just
strange.
because, yeah, yeah, that is true.
I'm gonna go with the outside horse here, Rough Draft, the 11 horse. Has mainly been sprinting a lot. Has gone this distance a couple times, only finishing the money once. It was at a lot higher class than what he's going to be doing on Saturday. And I like in myself Jaramillo. I think he's kind of like the dark horse rider at Gulfstream a lot. Like he seems to get the job done. And he came in second with this horse last out at 5.5 on the artificial. I'm gonna call that a prep race. That was at a lower class too. I'm not really sure what the deal is. The most worrisome thing about this horse isn't even the post position. It's the fact that look at the claim history, right? Optional claimer 45 claimed, immediately dropped to 12.5 claimed. Now it's 10,000 last out and no one claimed it. So something maybe is wrong with this horse. Um, if it goes off any worse than 6-1, I'm probably gonna avoid it. But if it's better than 6-1, I think it's an interesting dart throw kind of. It's gonna be the leader um as far as this early speed goes, and just hoping that the Gulfstream turf, if it isn't playing as fair as it has been, I think that's an interesting horse to like gate to wire it, kind of steal it on the front. I like I said, I get Nantasket Beach. I'm gonna use that horse some. I liked a lot Rock the Stars, the horse you were talking about, the other um Edgar Zayas horse. Super strong finisher that last race. They were very wide for a lot of the race, I think you said, and then they had to come wide into the stretch too, and now they get the jockey upgrade, the Zayas. He's rode him once before. Not a great race, but I think that's just kind of the finishing horse lifestyle at Gulfstream is like either you get the job done or you're stuck behind traffic for a lot and you can't really do anything because of all the horses trying to get out front. I thought a lot of these horses in this race looked like they do better at longer distances, so it was hard for me to get to any of the other ones. If I were to have any other horses underneath, it probably would be the one. You got the post position helping him out, dropping in class, strong finish last. Probably shouldn't be as far back as Rock the Stars. And then of the other horses that you were talking about, I think I like Alley Johnny the most. But I just like to go against older horses that kind of just run their same race every time. Um, yeah, it was a weird watching all the replays for this race because I feel like a lot of the horses look like they're just kind of one pace horses. Um, Maybe that was just the circumstance of the last race for some of these horses, but I didn't see any huge kick out of a lot of them. So I'm going to go with the sprinter, Rough Draft 11. I like Nantasket Beach, and then I'll probably figure out a way to throw in the 1 and Rock the Stars, the 10 in some fashion. But yeah, it was a hard race. Weird pace profile. Yeah, we'll see how it breaks down.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned the 11, but that's one I definitely think can win. I'm just hoping that one sends from the outside and kind of pressures Nantasket Beach, and they're kind of use up a little early speed going in that first turn. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, Alley Johnny, I just think that last pace it was behind was so slow that um kind of
Just kind
looks
of, yeah,
more.
looked sleepy.
It didn't look doesn't yeah, it doesn't look that great, but I think that's better. The only concern with him is I mean, he's coming from a 30% trainer, so I don't know how much Drexler's going to move him up, but um yeah, Drexler's horses um usually fire down at Gulfstream in the winter.
Okay, yeah, that's a good angle. I'm not super tuned into this Drexler guy. I'm a Safi head, you know. I just follow the big names.
Yeah, no, he's he him and Safi use the same program, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, that Barbados juice they import up.
Yeah, they get he's definitely one of those guys.
Good to know. Any closing thoughts? Any other Gulfstream news you got for us?
Not really. Um, I did start working with Iron Bets. It's an ADW. So I'm promoting some of their stuff on my site. And if you sign up, I think there's like a 50% bonus. You can use the promo code conductor or click on any of the links I have on my site. Um, they don't have Gulfstream or the they don't have the Stronach tracks yet. Hopefully those are coming soon, but They have Naira and they'll have Keeneland and stuff coming up in the spring. Um, and they have pretty much all the other tracks. So if you or any of the listeners out there want to sign up, it'd be cool. And it's got a lot of rewards, a lot more rewards than the other ADWs. It's kind of it's run by like a actual horse player who kind of cares about the player, and it's good. There's a page every day that lists all the low takeout bets. And a lot of a lot of good like info like that to like kind of help out the horse player. And yeah, 50% sign up bonus. There's usually some, like free bets for certain tracks each day, so it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good to know. You said that's promo code conductor. Make sure
Yeah,
to use that. Yeah.
yeah, be great.
Well, thanks so much for hopping on and tearing down some of these races with me, Mr. Conductor.
Yep, hopefully crush it Saturday, and a lot richer next time we do this.
Crush it, or at least stay alive for next weekend. Second most important thing.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's a fair point. Survive the winter.